Welcome to Here for the Horses, Ohio edition. Glad you are here for the horses. That's where I'm at right now. I just finished teaching a 2-day clinic, Winning Your Horse's Heart Clinic here in Johnstown, Ohio. Fantastic weekend. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It was excellent. Super, super cool. So I got to meet some people. Sue Miller in the house. I got to meet Sue. She's been around. So that was excellent meeting her. And Casey showed up. Casey drove and showed up. Oh, she's knocking on the door. Okay. Super fun clinic, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We are going to talk today about ping point, nope, trigger points. Trigger points. I love that. Trigger points. We're going to talk about the look. Okay. So you guys that have done the homework this last week have seen the look multiple times with multiple horses. So I took some screenshots of that and I want to talk about that. Okay. Let's see. And we're also going to talk about what our homework is for this week. Do you guys want it? Okay. Let me get it. I do have it. You know, last time I tried to be organized. I don't know why these like to pop up like that. I was organized. Oh, I'm organized. Okay. Here is this week's homework if it chooses to come up. Doesn't want to now. Let me try it. There it is. Nope. Wrong one. Okay. Sacrum rub.
Oh,
Sacrum rub. Point of buttock pull. Okay. Sacrum rub, point of buttock pull. You know what I'm going to do real quick too? Is I'm going to pull up, let's type in, and this is how I do stuff, equine sacrum. And then I go to images. Let's talk about it. Okay. So the sacrum here. Okay. Sacrum. Sacrum. Okay. Right here. It's right here. Okay. So what do I do for the sacrum rub? It's this section right here. And I like to take it all the way, forward and back. Okay. So what I like to do is stand behind the horse, directly behind. From the dock of the tail, rub forward, rub back, rub forward, rub back, right next to the sacrum, the spine, forward and back. Okay. If you're not comfortable standing behind your horse, that's probably something you should work on. Okay. Because I had someone once comment, you should never stand behind a horse. And my comment was, you should never not be able to stand behind your horse. You should never not be able to stand behind your horse. Okay. When I first got Georgia, not only could I not stand behind her, I couldn't stand to the side of her or in front of her or anything. Okay. So my priority at that point was not doing a bunch of equine massage on her. It was getting her gentled to the point where I could be around her without her being worried about it. Okay. So we need to make decisions that keep us safe. And if you're not comfortable standing behind your horse, one, you can take photos or message me about why that is. But two, that's going to be your priority, not the sacrum rub. Okay, but everybody else should be able to stand behind their horse pretty comfortably, especially if you've made them comfortable in the rest of their body. Okay, So sacrum rub is really easy, forward and backwards, right along the spine. Scratch them forward and back. You're kind of looking for lumps, bumps, areas that don't move well, areas that are really hard. Okay. They love this one. They love it, especially right when you get around that tail dock. They love that. Okay, so just loosen up that sacrum and see how it goes. They're gonna like it. Okay. Now let me pull up point of buttock. And make sure that you're putting equine in front of all these Google searches you're doing. Okay, because you don't know what you're gonna get if you don't. Okay, let's go to the, oh, I like that photo. Hold on. Bring you guys in on it. Whoops, sorry. Okay, share. Okay, I like this photo. I don't know what they're trying to talk about here, but this is the pelvis, okay? Lower legs. This is the point of buttock. Everyone see that right there? So in general, the point, and or here's a better photo, even better. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Drawing. This point of buttock is a bone that muscles attached to. See it? Okay. So muscles go around it and attach to it. You look at some of these other photos here. This one's pretty cool. Okay. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be starting right at the top of their little butt cheeks. And you put with a C shape on your hand, you're going to put your left, like if you're on this horse right here, your left hand goes on the point of hip, which is here. Your right hand goes in the top of their little butt cheek. You're going to cup their little butt cheek and you pull it toward you. Then you go down 2 inches, pull it towards you. Down 2 inches, pull it toward you. Down 2 inches, pull it toward you. You're going to find this point of buttock because it's going to be tight. It's going to be tighter and you're going to feel the bone. Okay. Go all the way down to here. This is the hamstring. We're going to go all the way down to here, pulling toward you. Flip sides, do it the other way. Okay. So these two are very, very easy and very, very effective, and the horses generally like them. Okay. Super easy. I was going to show you also, I have this pulled up on the clinic where it's at. So go to the clinic. Okay. It's under the hind end and tail. Can everyone see that over here? Hind end and tail, sacrum rub, point of buttock pull. Okay. Now the sacrum rub goes really well with the tail pull and the tail articulations, but we'll do that next week. Okay. There you go. Any questions on that? It's a good one. So send some videos. It's not going to be too complicated. We'll just hopefully see some horses relax. If you have other videos that I've still asked you to send, go ahead and get those in whenever you can. I don't know how many are in the queue right now because I've been going since 7 this morning. So, okay, so I'm not sure, but I'll check. Leanne, what you got?
Well, Mystic Knight got bit by one of the other horses, and I don't know which. And it's really right below the buttock, point of buttock. And I've been treating it, and I stopped treating it 3 days ago. But it's sealed, and there's no inflammation there anymore. But should I still avoid it just because it's a recent scar?
When was she bit?
Probably 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Don't avoid it.
Okay.
So there's no open skin, right?
No, it's sealed.
Okay. Is it sealed like it's sealed? We don't need to worry about it popping open?
I feel like it's sealed.
Okay. You don't want a ton of, is there gonna be scar tissue?
Well, horses kind of scar, so I don't know. I
Okay,
haven't started treating the scarring part, which I normally would with red light, but
yeah,
I just got done with the treating it, and it's closed.
okay. Here's the game plan. Do some nice warm circles over
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Go linear friction. So remember we talked about scar tissue and how
Yeah.
it gets
Right.
set like this.
Right.
We
Yeah.
want it set like this,
Mm-hmm.
linear friction, and get it set properly and do
Okay.
some red light on it. But
Okay.
light, please.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
do your red light on it. And then next week, game on.
Okay.
Because I want that set, that scar tissue set straight, not wonky.
Crossed. Okay.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? That was a good question. Poor thing. She gonna get back at whoever did that? Was that Buckaroo?
I honestly think it was Adobe, but
Oh, he's had enough.
I don't know for sure because I didn't see it. But I will tell you that my poor mares, because Ellie, oh my goodness, one of my other horses, I don't have him anymore. He's passed away, but he bit her in the genitalia, and I had to take her in and have stitches. So
Jeez
when I
Louise.
first saw this, I was so stressed. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I can't, the horses just, they catch them in that, you know. But anyway, it was a big gash, but it looked like it would heal, and it has healed really nicely. So I didn't take her in for stitches. But so that's both my mares have been bit in that area, which
That's wild that
I
they're
know,
breaking skin like that.
I know.
You
So
better get a dart blow or something from your house and just, you can't allow that behavior to go on.
well, the funny thing is with Ellie, I was right there in the barnyard, and she had walked by, and Cody was my Mustang I had before Adobe. And literally, I was right there. And as he was a very dominant left brain horse. And as he walked by, he just went, oh. And I mean, I was right there when it happened. I could not believe it.
Wow.
So, but anyway, uh, that's another story.
Yeah, I bet. We should do like memoirs of horse owners and just have all these stories that are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We could fill 25 books just between us. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Point of butt, sorry, sacrum rub and point of buttock pull. Okay. This weekend I did a 2-day clinic. I gotta show these first because I love them. Look what Hannah made me. So Hannah is she works at a printing place. Look at, they're all different colors. She made them all for the participants, and I was like, but I want them. So I'm gonna order about 500 of these. So if you guys want them, you gotta let me know. Okay. I love these. These can go anywhere. It says jiggle, jiggle. You know what I mean? It's perfect. So those were fun. But our clinic this weekend was excellent. And the reason it was so cool is because it was a little bit different than my normal clinic structure. I normally have 8 to 10 to 11 horses, and then 5 auditors, 4 auditors. So with this one, I had 4 horses and 8 auditors. Okay. And I was a little nervous initially, like I have plenty of material, right? But I was like, are there going to be enough horses to show all the reactions? Because that's what's beautiful about 10 horses is one horse at least will always respond to one thing that we're teaching. So as we go through the clinic, there is one horse somewhere that's going to have a pretty significant reaction to what we're doing. So this was really cool because we had two older horses, which are always fantastic to work on. One very big dressage horse, and well, most of you guys know him. So Rusty is Hannah's big old horse, and then Baby Dragon, also known as Bodie, is Mike's horse. And so we had the Baby Dragon, and he was in flight today. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to show this photo if I can. Yeah. There's Baby Dragon in his outfit. You guys see it? So that was pretty fun. He has a long history with winning your horse's heart, so that was fun. But it was wild, and what we ended up doing actually was we ended up I had the auditors come up and feel stuff I was talking about. So every time we ran into a sausage on the jaw, I had them line up and they all felt the sausage. Or if there was a knot in the hind end, I go, come feel this knot. I want you to feel it. So every auditor got to participate on a pretty high level. And I know that that's not normal for a lot of clinics, right? In a lot of clinics, auditors are to be quiet and you're to stay in your area and you don't even get to ask questions. I don't ever run my clinics like that, never. But that's how I've been to clinics like that. So this was really exciting. And I actually went long. I've never gone long on a clinic before until this one, which I think is hilarious. The one with less horses, I went 20 minutes late. So yeah, Sue was there. Sue had a great time. So we had a fantastic time, and I really like this layout actually. Like I like this model. I just don't know if it'll work for clinics, you know, to make the clinic fees and stuff like that, but I liked it a lot. So that was fun. And I'll have videos and photos up this weekend, so if you're interested in that. Okay. Carol, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were talking about, please? Carol Cutler.
Okay, hang on. I gotta get my glasses on.
I gotta dump this water bucket. I'll be right back.
So, Jazz, since I've had her since she was 3, has had once or twice a year, maybe even less frequently than that. She will have what I thought initially was some gas colic. And it turns out the vet did some, because she had a really bad episode of it a couple weeks ago, and her whole side was contracted. Her left side was like muscle spasms, the whole side. And usually it's just on the bottom. So the vet came out to check in with her and did a bunch of blood work to see if it was PSSM or HYPP. And the DNA test showed that she has one allele for MYHH, and there's 2 versions of that. She has the non-exertional kind.
Okay,
it's just
that's
kind
probably
of
good, isn't it?
I think so, and it's kind of random, and she only has one allele, so I think that's why it's been kind of hit and miss. What you treat it with is higher protein hay,
Okay.
which you can't have because she's insulin resistant. Like alfalfa, she can't have. So it's and steroids. That's what they treat it with. And the steroids also she can't have because of the insulin resistance.
Oh man.
So I ended up treating her with a little bit of bute powder on some Stable 1 pellets. And now I have muscle relaxant pills. So I'm set for the next episode. And what I ended up doing is I gave her the bute. I didn't have the muscle relaxant at that point, and I massaged her for like an hour and a half. And I remember when we discussed colic earlier with this group, really, you said the hind end, the glute muscles, and that's where I focused my attention. And I did, along her spine, did the across right below her spine. I did a little bit of bladder meridian.
Oh, good idea.
And just tons of like warming up rubbing, kind of thing, just all over her side, just light, frequent, kind of, I don't know if you call it friction, but it was, constant light, and then some really serious heavy duty massage on her glutes. And I don't know if it was the butte or the massage or both, but she did come out of the episode. So it was really weird. It's like myosin heavy chain something or other. I'd have to look it up. But I wondered if
Mhm.
anybody else had any experience with that and with massage, to alleviate symptoms.
Anybody else? I mean, I
Does
have not heard of that. That does sound similar to the PSSM, in how you help it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how you help it with massage. That sounds
O-
very similar to how I'd help a PSSM horse.
Okay. So I did the
No,
right
I
thing.
always say that. No, is it PSSM? No, HYPP. HYPP.
Okay.
Why do I do that every time? It's so weird.
I don't know. There's so many
I know.
letters. There's a
LF
lot of
Chem,
letters.
okay, PRS. I don't know.
Yeah, and it doesn't stick in my head. I've read it
No.
over a bunch of times. But basically, she just has this muscle spasm thing. And
Yes.
it's extremely painful.
So is there anything having to do with potassium?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, because that's what my border horse deals with, issues with potassium. So I have to give her corn syrup, which is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, and you couldn't do that with an IR horse for sure.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I think when I got her hay balanced once, was it potassium she had to have? I don't think it was. It was is there another P supplement mineral? Is it
Probably.
potassium? I don't know if it
Mhm.
was potassium or not, but when I gave it to her, I just gave her a little tiny bit and she had an episode. So I wonder if it's related.
Wow. Okay.
So that was a
Yeah,
couple
well,
years
that's
ago.
interesting. So Carol, as you learn more about that, can you just maybe document some of it and have it
Yeah,
available? We'll throw it up on the screen and people can take a screenshot of it if you want, because if one horse has it, 500 more do.
yeah, and it's definitely a quarter horse kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a bloodline DNA. It's the same
Okay.
kind of deal,
Which is, yeah, it's happening a lot. Yeah. Stephanie asked if you have your hay tested.
Oh yeah. I've been testing hay for decades.
Carol's like,
Oh
yeah, it's
yeah.
tested
Yeah.
all right.
These
I
are my-
practically have a lab in my backyard.
I
And I'm
know,
about to
and
do it myself.
I have to have my hay tested too. And ironically enough, 2 years ago, the alfalfa was lower in sugar than the grass hay.
Yes, alfalfa often is, but it's also higher in calcium and protein.
And that's what you, okay, and that's what
That's
you.
the problem.
looked
That
at too.
causes
Okay.
foot soreness in some IR horses. And she's just,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
she's severely IR. She's just so,
Okay.
we're always walking a tightrope. So
Mhm.
yeah, I even have an account with Dairy One. I do so much hay
They're like,
testing.
Carol's on the phone. Pick her up.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
She's
so
lucky to have
she's,
you.
well, thanks. I don't know. I've been struggling for a decade or more, so we just keep plugging along. So this was it was good to get this information, because I never had any idea what caused it, and it's random. It's not
Oh.
triggered, the HYPP, right, is triggered by exercise or,
Well,
whatever.
exercise helps it.
Does
Helps
it?
maintain
Okay.
it,
Maybe
yeah.
it's PSSM that's triggered by exercise. I don't know, but
Mm.
I don't know what, it seems to be, not trigger. It's just kind of, you just don't know. It just happens.
It's
So
just
I
triggered
keep-
by whether you're busy or there's holidays or if people are coming over, probably. Is it an emergency vet call or one of a cheaper one? Because if it's an emergency vet call, it's the time to do it.
Exactly. So like I would guess every Sunday night.
We were just talking about that today. Yep.
I got some
All right,
good
well,
news.
cool. Keep us updated on that as you continue to get more information, because I don't know anything about that. It
And
sounds so similar to other things that horses go through though, so.
I have some good news. You know, the pointy pelvis, point of hip thing that we went over last week, 2 weeks ago. Chex had that wicked bad. And I've worked on it for 2 weeks and it's gone. Her butt is round now.
Wow, excellent. That's fantastic.
Yay!
Yeah, that's
yeah.
really exciting. Super exciting. Nancy, last week's homework was glutes. And was it spine rub? What?
Point of
Somebody
hip.
say it. Point of hip. Point of hip and glutes. Okay. Okay, so we are going to talk about trigger points today. So I'm going to put a document up and you guys can take a screenshot of it. If you're not a screenshot sort of person, message me and I'll send it to you. Okay. But I'm going to take this document and put it up. This is also what I sent out. If you watch the video on my public page that said something like follow your hands, I think this was at the end of it. So let me put it up here for you. Okay, there you go. So let's talk about it. Trigger points. Trigger points, what are they? A trigger point is a spot in the muscle belly where tension has built up, and it is a combination of built up lactic acid and irritated nerve endings, or irritated nerve ending. You'll usually find them in the soft, meaty part of the muscle. I'll tell you where I normally find them. They're called trigger points because when you press on them, it can cause discomfort and shooting a visible trigger to a different part of the body. How do you find them? You normally find them when you are using linear or cross fiber friction, rubbing on a certain area, and notice that it makes another area twitch. When this happens, it's important to slow down and find the exact spot that is causing the trigger. You have to go slow to do this. Okay. How do you fix them? You fix them by finding the exact spot and then applying direct pressure for 15 to 30 seconds. Some people recommend more, but I've found that you can get them to release within that range above. After you release the trigger point, you make sure to rub the area. Oh, rub nice circles over the area. This will encourage blood to flow into the area and continue the healing process. Okay. So, trigger points are built up. Okay. Oh, I gotta write. You might have to message me on Facebook. So trigger points, okay, muscles slide like this. Okay. If they get stuck, they make a little mound. Okay, like a mound like that. And that's an adhesion. So that part of the muscle doesn't slide anymore. Makes a little mound. So if a nerve ending, while this mound is happening and the muscle is not sliding, it causes a backup of lactic acid and other things in the mound, because the body wants this to slide, but it's stuck. Some guy used 2 pieces of Velcro to kind of show what that is talking about. And the Velcro gets stuck and then it irritates it. Okay. So you have this mound in something that should be flowing. If there's a nerve ending that flows into that adhesion and you're rubbing over the top of it, it shoots a pain to a different area of the body. And it also makes that area trigger. It looks like a trigger. Okay. So to get rid of those, you're gonna take your thumb, you're gonna press straight down. This is all built up. You're gonna press straight down and hold for 15 to 30 seconds. And it eventually is going to push that mound flat. And you're going to hold it until all that lactic acid and built up garbage that got put into that trigger point is gone. And then you're going to slowly take your thumb off and you're going to rub it, which encourages the blood to come back into that area. And then all of a sudden, that muscle slides. Okay. So let me show you the areas to which I know. Should I use a real horse? Yeah, might as well, right? To which I normally find these. And I also have a cool video that I haven't double checked to see where it's at, but I got a great video on this. All right. Okay. It's a pretty good photo. Okay. So where do I normally find trigger points? Well, right here is one spot. Right there. Right where the saddle sits. Okay, right here. Now, normally, these trigger points either shoot back or they shoot down the shoulder. Okay. I also find trigger points down the infraspinatus and supraspinatus on the sides of the scapular spine. I also find a lot of trigger points right here. And then I also find them along the rib shelf. Okay. Those are my main areas. So this is how you find them. You're doing fast friction and it shoots a trigger. So when you're doing faster work, I want you to have your eyes, it's like a peripheral thing almost. Okay. So trigger points are not going to go away unless you handle them directly with direct pressure. And I can make them go away in other ways, but you can't accidentally release a trigger point. It's not going to happen. Okay. You need to be precise about trigger points. So as you're doing fast work, you're going to see a twitch. It's going to shoot somewhere. So then what you need to do is you need to kind of have an idea of where you were at when you were doing that. And then you need to go slow down, but still be kind of fast because they trigger when you go fast over them. Okay. So you need to narrow down where they are on the horse's body and then you go slow to find it. And you have to look around. Okay. You got to find it. Where is it at? And it'll trigger. Sometimes you can feel it. So today I was working on a horse that had a trigger point, found it because I was moving fast. Narrowed it down, was moving fast. Couldn't find it when I went slow, but I could feel something. And I go, I think it's right here. I'm going to use some direct pressure. I used about 20 seconds, rubbed, and then check your work, and it was gone. Okay. So that's how you're going to work on those trigger points. Has anyone seen trigger points that they know of themselves? Yeah. Okay. I was getting a massage and my masseuse said, "Oh, you have a trigger point." And she was working on my back. And I was like, "I do?" Because I couldn't see it. And I was like, where is it? So she pointed to it and I was like, "Does it actually trigger?" And she goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Does it show a trigger? Like, does it move my skin?" Because that's what I wanted to see. And she was like, "No, not really." And I was like, "Oh, well, that doesn't horses, so that's lame." Okay. So, that's what I want you to keep an eye out for when you're kind of working on that stuff. All right. I also want to show you a pretty cool, aha, here it is. Okay, hold on. I did something special for you guys. I think I did. Hold on. I'm pulling it up now. So Mags had a trigger point. Yep. We're going to watch this a couple times, so get ready. This is going to be super fun.
Is this the
I'm not
one?
going to say anything.
I can't, I had the hardest time. I don't know that I could even find the one on that shoulder. But
Well,
I found
that
another
was,
one on the last video I submitted that was so,
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm pushing here, right here. It's twitching. It's twitching.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, you'll see on this one. This one would be hard for the person doing it to see, but you'll see why. But you'll find them. And this is slowed down. Okay. So I slowed this way down. I'm not going to say anything, you guys. I'm not even going to talk. I'm just going to play it. Can you see this, everyone?
Mhm.
Okay.
That is so flipping cool.
Did you see it? Look where my cursor's at. I think that's where it was. Yep. My cursor was over the top of it.
Ooh,
Right
was
there. Did you guys see it?
Yep.
It's right here. So I'm gonna do it one more time. Right next to my cursor. So it's right here. Bam. Okay. Let's see if I can find it by just doing this. I should have lined it up better. This is a recording. Oops. This is a recording of a recording too, so it makes it hard. It's this little tiny 1-inch area here. Did I just miss it? There. It's right here. Okay. So that was a trigger point. Pretty wild. That was a deep one, but it was so small, it was so fast. Normally when you're doing oh, you know what? I'm gonna show you one more thing. This one is, if I can find it, this one's extreme to the point where they have too much stuff going on, to be honest with you. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Aaron, while you're finding,
Um,
it, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So while I was working behind the wither there by the scapula, it triggered down below. But the pain is up high behind where the saddle would fit, right?
Well, the pain is going to be, it's referred pain. So it shoots pain.
Okay, because like I just noticed that he's really wanted me to rub that particular area on his shoulder that he normally doesn't want rubbed.
Oh,
And so like it's something new.
okay.
So it's just a correlation of where now that's kind of where he's been asking for my hand to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, once you get rid of the trigger though, it can't refer pain to that other area. So I would stick with where the trigger's at for sure. But it does shoot that pain. Okay. Oh, you know what? It was on Facebook. Hold on. If this video, I'm not going to look for it forever, but wildly extreme case. Yeah, this one. Okay, hold on. I don't like looking at this one because it's disgusting, but this is more than trigger points. Okay, guys. You guys seen this video? Okay, did you guys see that? Do you see all of it twitching everywhere? Okay, so this guy is saying, this guy was saying something. Oh, and do you guys see the stretch he's doing that I tell people not to do? Do you like that? I think he's a Cairo or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's a Cairo move. Okay. So look. Oh, there's still triggers there, isn't there, guys? Did you see that? Do you see it? It's still there. It's a lot better, but it's still there. Okay, well, let's watch it again. This is definitely a Cairo move. Watch, it's still there. Do you see? This is still being raised up. Okay. So he did not get rid of those trigger points. I am happy with the work that he did because that was obviously a huge improvement. Good job. Those trigger points in that shoulder and up by that wither are still there though, but they're much better. So what happened in that case was that that horse was very, very jammed up in that shoulder. Okay. And so there were multiple issues there, more than one. Those trigger points didn't go away though, but they got a lot better. I think he took care of muscle spasms is what he did, and the trigger points didn't leave. Okay. But that horse is feeling better for sure. But in that video, you also saw the difference between my technique and his technique. He did not wait for relaxation. And he's a chiropractor based off the moves I just saw. He did not wait for relaxation. He did not wait till the horse gives. There was a little bit of give and take pull between the two of them, correct? Right? That wasn't super relaxed. So it made a big improvement, but I'd want a massage therapist coming in after that and finishing it off. Okay. So it can get pretty extreme. That was wildly extreme. But what I want you to look for those trigger points, or at least be aware of them, you don't necessarily need to look for them, is in front of the flank on the rib shelf. And in the shoulder where it was interesting that the area that I said that you can find those trigger points, he pointed to two of them. He was on the scapula and he was up by where the saddle hits the tree behind the scapula. Okay, so that's where you're going to find them. Some people say they find them in the chest. I don't know if I ever have found them in the chest, but they can be anywhere. It's just in the muscle belly. Okay. Any questions on those? 15 seconds, 30 seconds. They teach you in school like 45 seconds to a minute. I just don't find that is necessary. And direct pressure in one spot is not particularly fun or pleasant, especially when there's a trigger point that has a nerve ending in it. So if I can do less time, I will. 15 seconds normally does it. Okay. Yeah, Jennifer.
Are you, is your pressure really hard? Like, are you really?
Oh, that's a great question. It's harder than I would do on a human. If
Okay.
I did it to you, you would not like it. You'd go like that. So, I mean, if you could do it with light pressure, that would be awesome, but it's a medium to heavy pressure. But
Okay.
remember, you're using your thumb, so it's pretty direct, you know. I'll normally use my thumb and then the weight of my arm and my shoulder,
Wow.
which is a fair amount.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
But I don't have to push down. It's just,
No.
that's what that is. So you always have to check your work. So if you don't get it the first time, you got to go back and I'd use more direct pressure then. Okay, so you can play like that. Good question. Any other questions? Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is the look. And we've talked about this before, but I saw it 3 times this week. It's pretty cool. So I talk about the look. The look occurs in 2 instances. One of the instances is they really don't like where you're at or where you're going. So that look is more like this. We've all probably seen that look from 1 horse or more. Okay. The look I want to talk about today, which is the one I saw this week, is the look of, oh, that feels good. Okay. They're almost like surprised. And then they want to go, what are you doing? Where are you? Why does that feel so good? Okay. So let's take a look at some pictures. You guys know how I like pictures. Okay. Photos. Okay. Here's one. This one's cool. Share. Tommy boy. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Tom doesn't turn around to look very often. Okay. He's a pretty stoic, he's a manly man. He doesn't like to show pain. And he's not really showing pain here, but he's like, whoa, what's that? Look at his ears. He's kind of curious what she's doing and where she learned it. Okay. So Tom liked whatever she was doing and was interested enough to turn his entire head around and look at her. Okay. So that was pretty special. Yeah. Okay. The next one, can you guys see this one? Okay. We got Mags. Mags was like, whoa.
I'm not seeing Megs.
Oh, I gotta change it up. Hold on. Share. There we go. Okay. Now his isn't the direct eyeball, but it's like the, huh, that's pretty darn good. Look where she's at. Okay. All right. Let me find the other one here. This one's pretty special, guys. This one's pretty special. Boss Mare Clarissa. The old boss. That's what we're going to call her. Look at her turn around and look at what she's doing. She was shocked at this week's homework. Okay. I'd also like to point out the beautiful banana that I see in that horse's neck, the lateral flexion. Is that not gorgeous or what? That is so good. Okay. So this is funny. Oh, we also had Freitas this week, didn't we? Freitas loves to turn around and look at her mom. It's so very, very cute. She's a very cute little horse. So Freitas did it also. So that's 4 horses. Okay. So pay attention if your horses all of a sudden, if you're, especially, and I'm going to say, especially if you have stoic horses. Because the first time Georgia did this to me, I thought she was going to kick me. Because she was very similar to Tom, not a ton, I mean, less emotion than Tom, because Tom gets into some stuff. But she stands like a statue. She kind of still does. And the first time I started working on her right glute, she turned around and looked at me like that. And I thought, oh gosh, am I about to get kicked? Because it was quiet, but it was a direct look at me with her entire head turned around. And I was like, oh. So I stopped, and then she put her head forward again. And I was like, I don't even know if that was good or bad. I don't even know. So I did it again, and she did it again. And I was like, I'm going to roll the dice here, Las Vegas. Let's see what happens. And I kept going, and she loved it. And that right hind is the same hind she's normally tight on. Okay. So that's the look. Keep an eye out for it. It's pretty special when you get it. It really is. Because you're shocking them at how good you are, is what you're doing. So good they have to turn around and look and see what you're doing. All right, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Okay, so keep your eye open for that. And it was funny how many we had this week and a lot of those were on like the ribs and stuff, ribs and back. Were all of them? All of them were ribs and back, I think. So maybe it was videos from last week or something. Okay. One more announcement if you're ready for it. I want you to write this date down. June 4th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are going to be having a Winning Your Farrier's Heart webinar with the world famous Wanda and Jeremy Manley. Real, in person, live. I haven't decided how much I'm charging for an entrance fee yet. No. For you guys, you're getting in free. For you guys, you're in. So write it down. Live, Wednesday, June 4th, Winning Your Farrier's Heart. We're going to talk about how Jeremy and Wanda have transformed their business, the horses they're working on, the work that they're doing, the improvements they've made, and how they're going to transform their own industry. Okay? Imagine it. So you're all invited. We're going to be talking with both of them. And we're going to get some amazing information. So save the date, invite everyone you know. I will be doing some flyers and like marketing and stuff, whatever. I'll try to make it as appealing as possible, get some good information out there so you guys can share that on your own Facebook. Everyone is invited, especially farriers. There's going to be some stories in this one that are going to knock your socks off. So you're going to want to be there. There will be a recording for you. The recording for the public will be on a different site. Okay. So we will make it available to people that it's going to benefit greatly. Okay. And then they're going to share the body work techniques that they've used. And there will be a bundle of that available after that webinar, but it's going to be pretty amazing. And they got some fantastic photos. We'll show those too. Okay. So we're going to get together this Wednesday, Wanda and Jeremy and I, yeah, at 5, and we're going to run through everything and make sure it's super professional and fancy. And then we're going to launch that sucker. So be ready for some flyers to start coming out on those, and please share them on your Facebook, because we want everyone to learn how to help their horse, set their horse up for success, keep our farriers safe, and make the experience for when horses get their feet done the best. We want it to be the best. And there's a lot of things you can do to help them out. It's super important. Okay. Any other questions for this week? No? All right. See you when I'm back in Washington, I guess. Get your homework done. See you guys later. Bye. Bye from Ohio.